great thing about New York is that you can go to these open calls and you meet like either the casting director or the assistant to the casting director, and it's very practical. The way to get a job and the way to get ahead is I waited in so many non-equity lines to get into an equity audition, but if you really put the work in and get your face out there and go to those auditions that you read about repeatedly, people start to notice you, and that's what happened with me.
Study. You know, I think if you love this thing, it will love you back eventually. But you put enough hard work, you put enough love into this profession, into this trade, it will love you back.
The voice is mysterious, and it's kind of like the weather, where you're like, oh great, it's sunny out today, or like, oh great, it's raining so I need an umbrella, or it's always changing. So I would say for me, what I feel like I'm still struggling with is to take care of your voice and make sure you drink a lot of water, and make sure you warm up, and make sure you warm down, and make sure when you're in a show that you sing things that are different from that show to keep your voice flexible. The lesson I've had to learn to myself is to have forgiveness and acceptance for what you can do and for what you can't do in the long term and on any given day, and be kind to yourself and don't let yourself get stressed out about it.
Well, sleep, you gotta sleep. You have to sleep, because sleep is the only way the body repairs itself. You gotta drink lots of fluids. You gotta keep studying. If you're in a show, you gotta make sure that you're, pro athletes work with trainers every day. If I could sit under my voice teacher for 3 hours a day, I absolutely would. Just because I happen to, I'm always trying to renew my understanding of my instrument. And you have to be really smart technically about, what you're doing 8 shows a week. Our show's a very long show, and it requires a lot of, for me, there's a lot of rapping, there's a lot of singing, so I have to make sure that my voice is prepared and warmed up really well.
But I mean, I even look at this Hamilton experience, and I'll tell you, there's the beginning, and we're coming sort of towards the end, of this first cycle of it, right? And we're popping champagne bottles at the beginning, you're popping champagne bottles at the end, but then there's the middle, which has its challenges, like your knees and your back and your neck, and how do you keep it fresh? And there's a whole long stretch that requires perseverance, that requires faith and trust and the will to move forward until you get to pop champagne bottles again.
The myth is, once you get on Broadway, everything's different. The myth is once you start working, once I get my equity card, once I get an agent, once I get a movie, once I get a TV show, you have all these things that you think, once I get nominated for a Tony, that you think once all of that happens, then everything will be incredible. And the fact is you always have to continually scratch and try and find joy, try and get that well opened up again. No matter what level you're at, you're always searching for something that is joyful and something that inspires you.
Well, remind yourself that keeping it fresh is important, because that's really what's in it for you. That's what's interesting for you. I can't imagine showing up and trying to do the same thing every single night. So remind yourself of that, and then it's just a commitment to being present. You work on it in your life and it'll affect your work. It's just as important in your life to be here. And so you bring that to the stage.